welcome back to the podcast. This is I always try and guess the number, like this is episode whatever, and I never remember. I'm gonna guess it's 26. I believe the
Yeah, I
last two
think,
times I guessed I was right,
yeah,
but I'm now that I say I guessed I was right, I'm gonna be wrong this time. So it is what it is. I'm fairly certain this is like 26, maybe 27, but I think it's 26. Anyways, I hope those who are listening are having a wonderful day, night, or evening. Whatever you're doing, working out, eating, doing nothing, just watching. If you're watching, hello. If you're not, hello via audio. Um, yeah, how are you doing?
okay. It's kind of hot down here, so I went for an early walk on the beach. The water was very rough. Um, and like I said, it was very hot. So came in the house, had breakfast, watched TV, had lunch, watched TV. Very exciting.
Seems very exciting. I
Yeah.
the weather over by you is warm because we've had I think the reason your water is rough is because of the storms that we've been getting over here. I think they traveled from you to us. And so because we'd rain today and we had a little bit of storms here and there the past couple of days. So but yeah, I am not
Yeah.
looking forward to this heat, in all honesty. I am a spring and fall guy, so I don't like too much heat.
Yeah. I played golf the other day. It was very hot, very hot.
Boy,
But
all right, well. Yeah, what's
you
going to
know,
happen is you're
but
going to be playing golf. The ball's going to melt halfway across the field. It's going to
you're
get too
not
high
kidding.
up and the sun's going to hit it and it's just going to melt.
Yeah, we tee off 6:20 in the morning to avoid the heat, but it
By the
keeps
time you hit
getting
the
hot.
end, by the time you
Yeah.
hit the end of the course, you're dying.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, so all right, let's
Well,
let's let's get the topic started. You came up with this topic, and it is our favorite TV shows and or movies of all time or current.
no. Mix.
Okay.
It's a combination of series, movies, TV shows, and
Okay, so this
the
can arguably be an ongoing thing that we can do a part two or three to if we have more shows that we found or forgot about um that we can talk about. Got
oh,
it. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
it's definitely not all time. It's just that, like I said, it's hot. When it's hot, you're outside, you're doing activities, you run, you shower, you come in, you read a book or you watch TV. So
That is true.
here are some things. Here are some movies and series and uh, old flicks that I've watched recently that are well worth watching. So you want me
Okay.
to start?
Yeah, you start. Go for
Okay.
it.
Okay. So in 1961, there was a movie with one of my favorite actors who had passed away, Paul Newman,
Yeah.
and he did the movie The Hustler, and it was about a hustler in Poole, and he starred with George C. Scott, and everybody thought that when it came to him getting when the Academy Awards came, that he was going to get the Academy Award, and he didn't. And there were a lot of things he did. He didn't get the Academy Award. Um, that's one of my lists for him to watch. But the movie I'm going to say that you definitely got to watch is the follow-up. It's the 1987 movie that's on Amazon now. The follow-up to his character of Eddie Falson that he played in The Hustler. It's called The Color of Money. The
Okay.
Color of Money is with Paul Newman, who's Eddie Falson, and Tom Cruise, who plays his underling, the person he's trying to teach, who's a very cocky guy, and his character is called Vincent Lauria. And it's a follow up to the character of the hustler that Paul Newman played. And again, he's, I think, about 16 years older. And Tom Cruise gives an excellent, excellent portrayal, as well as Paul Newman. And Paul Newman got the Academy Award for this. So I revisited the movie, seen it multiple times. It's on Amazon. And I think you don't have to be a pool player or love to play pool, but you will enjoy watching these two characters play off one another. And I think it's one of Tom Cruise's best performances. The two performances that stand out with Tom Cruise is the 4th of July, where he should have gotten the Academy Award, and The Color of Money. So I think everybody should see The Color of Money. It's on Amazon.
Color of Money. Interesting.
Color of Money. Now there's a new flick on Netflix. Adam Sandler, who always did these junky, stupid movies, comedies, which, lighthearted. I started to think it was getting terrible. And then he did a movie which was dramatic recently. And now he just did another dramatic movie that's on Netflix called Hustle. And it's about when a down and out basketball scout who he plays finds a potential superstar in Spain. He sets out to prove that they both have what it takes to make it to the NBA. And he gives a very good dramatic performance in this. And I like the transition that he makes from comedy to drama. And they always say that a lot of the comedians in the past, I won't delve into it, that comedians made great dramatic actors for some reason.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. The next one, I'm just going to go through them, and then you could present yours, and then we'll discuss things. Is that good?
Sure. We can do it that way.
Okay. The next movie that I saw was a dubbed movie from India. And initially I turned it on. It's set in pre-Indian independence from Great Britain. And initially when I saw it was dubbed, I said, I'm not going to watch it. But it was so much fun to watch. It has basically two antagonists. One works for the Indian government, he's Indian, and the other is Indian, but he doesn't work for the Indian government. And they have almost superhero strength and abilities. And the whole movie is their relationship with one another, how they play off with one another. And without giving away anything, it's on Netflix. It's called RRR. It's a long movie. I love the brilliant colors, the dancing, that goes on in these Indian movies. And you can comment on anything I say if you want to.
I'm looking up, as you said it, I was looking it up for RRR. Yeah, that film falls under, for those who recognize the genre, it's Bollywood. It's a Bollywood film.
Yes,
I'm just looking at some pictures of it, and this is Bollywood.
Yeah, and you know what? I said 2.5 hours. It was worth watching. It was fun.
No, it's not 2.5. It's 3 hours.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's 3 hours and 7 minutes. Oh my God. Yeah. Also, the RRR is apparently supposed to mean Rise, Roar, Revolt.
Yeah. Well, that's what it basically was.
That's the original title, and then they named it RRR. I get
Yeah.
possibly because there might have been some political issues with the title.
hmm And
That's interesting.
let's transition to the next movie that did not get good ratings, and uh, it takes the main character in this movie called Focus, Focus. I got to watch out how I pronounce it. Focus uh, is on Amazon. It stars
Oh,
Will
with
Smith.
Will Smith and
Will
Margot
Smith.
Robbie. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love Margot Robbie. I mean, I think she is just hot. And in this movie, she doesn't give you any reason to think she's not. Will Smith plays a veteran con artist who takes Margot Robbie under his wing, among other things, and teaches her how to be a con artist supreme. And I love this movie. Will Smith is very good in it. I mean, I like Will Smith until, he smacked my favorite comedian, Chris Rock, but I
And
would
then
watch this
he went to
movie.
India to find himself spiritually.
Yeah, maybe you'll find the characters some RRR. But
Exactly.
you can have,
He'll come. He's
yeah.
going to come back, and they're gonna the next Bollywood film. He's going to be in it, and people are going to be like, "There's his next career path."
Yep. So that was on Amazon. Focus, Focus. I got to watch how I pronounce that. Get in trouble. Now, let me turn this page. Ozark was a series, 4 seasons on Netflix. And I was hoping it would be renewed for series 5, but it's not. It stars Jason Bateman. I really like him as an actor and a director, and a fantastic actress, Laura Linney. It's about a mathematical genius accountant whose partner absconds with the funds of a drug cartel, and he has to, work with the drug cartel to make up all the money that his partner absconds with, which happens to be in the millions. Otherwise, his whole family is going to get killed. And it takes you down deep into New Orleans and different places, and the characters and the acting is superb. I believe he got a great deal of awards, Emmys, and for directing and for acting in this, and Laura Linney also. So Ozark is very important for you to see if you want to have enjoyment. It's 4 seasons, probably, take your time to get through it, but it's well worth it. And when you're finished watching it, you'll want more.
Yeah.
Definitely. Another series that I've been watching and I finished. If you've read books by Michael Connelly, he's a best-selling author. He's always on the top 10 list. He has a character called Bosch, who is a detective. And there's a series. It went for 7 seasons. So, if something goes for 7 seasons, I think it's on Free TV, which used to be, what's that, AM? What do you call the free TV that used to be on streaming? I think it's also on Amazon, but Free TV had another name before they made it Free TV.
Oh, I don't know what it was.
AMDB, is that what it is?
IMDb?
I am IMDb. They now call that free app. It's the free app. and it's also on Prime, I think, and it's called Bosch, Bosch, 7 seasons. It's based on Michael Connelly's best-selling novels, where Harry Bosch and is a detective, and he's played by Titus Welliver, who's an excellent actor. It takes place, he's an LAPD detective, and Mimi Rogers is also in this. And then there's the follow-up series in season 1 called Bosch Legacy on Freevee, which is the follow-up to Bosch 7 seasons. It's in 1 season, and it shows how Bosch and now his daughter has joined the LAPD force. Like all of Michael Connelly's books, this is not just a simple series where you figure out the beginning and the end, although you might, but it's really, really well watching and makes you think. And just a side note, Mimi Rogers was Tom Cruise's first wife, by the way.
You know what? I did know that. I was gonna say I didn't know that. I did.
Yeah, she's about a dozen years older than him, but when he was younger, and she's a good actress. So Bosch, Bosch, 7 seasons on free TV, free Z, and or Prime, Amazon Prime, and Bosch Legacies. The next one is my favorite. This is my favorite streaming of all of these, The Amazing Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Amazing Mrs. Maisel stars the multi-award-winning Rachel Brosnahan, Alex Borstein, Michael Zagan, Tony Jahab, and Jane Lynch and Kevin Pollak. It starts, there's 4 seasons, starts in the late 50s, goes into the early 60s, and it's about a woman who wants to be a comedian, who is a comedian, and the path she takes to become a comedian. It is hysterical. She has gotten every year either Golden Globes or whatever awards they give out, Rachel Brosnahan. It's about, funny thing is she's supposed to be a Jewish single mother who's a comedian, and how she comes across Lenny Bruce and some of the older comedians and what she goes through in the nightclubs down in the Village, and how women are treated as pariahs. And it's funny and it's dramatic, and this is the best series I've seen. It's on Amazon, 4 seasons. She plays, like I said, a Jewish comedian. The funny thing is she's not Jewish, but she sounds Jewish with the intonations, and her connections with her family and the problems that they have being a Jewish family, watching their daughter trying to become a comedian. So The Amazing Mrs. Maisel. Fantastic. You don't have to be Jewish.
It's actually interesting you bring that show up, because I have a friend, Jonah, who starred. He was just like a couple characters in the background, but he starred in a couple of the episodes. So I just thought that was interesting that you brought that show up, because I recently saw him post about it and how he was, a couple characters in the background, which I thought was neat.
Mm-hmm. My next one is Queen of the South.
Okay.
I didn't make a notation. I think it's on Amazon. If not, it's on Netflix. Queen of the South. It's about how it's very brutal. I mean, if you can't take bloodshed and brutality, don't watch it. but it's filled with action. It's about a woman who rises from the streets of the biggest become the biggest drug empire leader in the Western Hemisphere. And it stars an excellent actress, Alice Braga, Braga, and she's done many, many movies and such. It's on Netflix. Netflix, that's right. And it's 5 seasons completed. And
Wow.
that was it. But again, it's brutal.
Right.
Absolutely brutal. It's not for those faint at heart. Let me see if I got anything lighter here. Yes. Now I got a few quick things lighter.
Okay.
I introduced you to Nash Bridges.
Yes, you did.
Did you like it?
I think it was good.
Yeah. Nash Bridges stars Don Johnson and Cheech Marin. If any of you are old enough, you know there used to be a comedy act called Cheech and Chong. And Cheech Marin does not play a druggie. They're both, he's a captain in the San Francisco police force, and Cheech is also in the police force and works with him. And it was between 1996 and 2001. It also starts Jamie, I forgot his name, Jamie Gomez, Jeff Perry, who's done many, many shows afterwards, and somebody who's very, very cute, who's now 42 years of age, but she was only like 18, Jodie Lynn O'Keefe. Wasn't she cute? She was cutie, right? Who plays his daughter. And this is on the H&I station.
Yeah.
Heroes and then I'll just throw out a couple of names. I won't get into it. James Garner in Maverick is the rerun of the H&I series from between 1958 and 1962. It's on H&I. And more modern stuff that's on HBO. You got Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. 12 seasons, excellent. Maybe the best show on TV now is Yellowstone. 4 seasons on Paramount. And it's also on Paramount Plus. It's so good that there are already 3 spin-offs on it.
Really?
But yeah, 1883, something else, and they're all on Paramount Plus, Hulu, or whatever it is. And then Blue Bloods, 12, 13 seasons about New York City police officers with Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, Bridget Moynahan, and something funny, a half-hour show called Young Sheldon. So this completes my list, and it will keep you entertained, I believe. It is not my best shows of all time, because my best shows of all time go all the way back into the 40s and 50s and early 60s, where the color was terrible. And, you had actors like Edward G. Robinson and, again, Paul Newman.
Right.
And so that's my list. So you want to add to this?
Sure. I can. I haven't seen almost any of those. Blue Bloods I've heard of. Ozark I've heard of. Obviously I've seen Nash Bridges with You. Couple other ones I've heard of, but I haven't seen any of them. So I can't recommend any of them to watch to people. But I have my own list, which I will give, which I am going to forewarn. There is a significant amount of either pop culture stuff or stuff that is very much for my young age, which arguably is still translatable or transmutable, however you want to put it, to other ages as well. I just tend to like them right now.
Let me ask you a question before you give it to them. Uh, are you going to give a warning if it's not for young children?
I can.
Okay, because most of the things I have on my list is not for young children.
I was gonna say everything on your list was not for young children.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything on it was not for young children. So my list is not, I don't think my list is as extensive, but I think my list is still good. So I'm going to start with the oldest one that I have, which is one that you showed me, which I will highly recommend to anyone, and it is Firefly. Loved that
Yeah.
TV show. You showed that to me. It's got what's that name? The actor from Castle.
And he's also from Rookies.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
I loved him in Firefly. I think that was so Firefly is space cowboys. It's basically, if you've seen Star Wars and you know Han Solo, it's virtually just a ripoff of that concept of like, what if we had a TV show of Han Solo in his youth, a space cowboy in his youth, and the adventures he goes on. That's quite literally what Firefly is. Very entertaining, very funny. I was surprised with the age that it has. I usually don't tend to find things that far back or farther kind of funny because I either see the comedy coming or the humor just doesn't land with me. But it was actually quite funny and entertaining. So I highly recommend it. It never got finished because of the I'm forewarning so that no one gets upset at me that I'm presenting them with an unfinished product. It had, I think, 2 or 3 seasons, and then it got shut off from the cable channel that it was on. But there was such a cult following that they tried to make a movie about it. And
I think they did.
no, they made the movie, but the movie really flopped because they needed a TV show of hours and hours content to spread out because condensing it into 2 hours just wasn't enough. But
Right.
The TV show I think is really, really good, and I think I highly recommend it. And I don't know where you can find Firefly. I think it's on Amazon. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi, Hulu, and then yes, you can also buy it on Amazon. Okay. Yeah, I just highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And I enjoyed watching it with you. It was one that you showed me that I was apprehensive about, and then I said, no, this isn't that bad. The next one I have is one off of Netflix, and it is truly one of my favorites because I've rewatched it multiple times. The World's Most Extraordinary Homes. This is a very niche TV show for me, at least, because I love architecture and I love everything that has to do with architecture and interior design and stuff like that. And this show takes these 2 British people and they have a wonderful dynamic, and they visit these homes in America, in other countries, and they talk about it, and there's sometimes stories behind it, like, oh, this structure, this building or set of buildings is actually a senior event. So like one of the places they go is these cone structures, and it doubles as a home for these 2 people, but also a breakfast area for elderly people specifically, but anyone can go. It just tends to be the elderly people in town tend to go and get brunch there and hang out and talk and spend hours just having company. So I love the show because of the architecture, but also because it is extremely relaxing. It's very, very relaxing. It's done beautifully. It's not done like you see a lot of the cable like shows in America, where everything, it's like quick cuts and a lot of banter and a lot of this and that. You really are focused on the structures, and that's what the point is. And there is still banter and there's still conversation, but it's a nice blend and a nice mix that really, for me, beats out any of the other architecture or interior design shows that I've seen on Netflix. And I've seen at least 5 or 6 others. So personally, I think this is the best, and this is arguably one of my favorite TV shows. I really hope and wish that they do more. Uh, so highly, highly, highly recommend. There's 3 seasons. Each episode, I think, is like 45 minutes or something. So really, really quite nice. Next TV show I have is, let me back up. Firefly probably shouldn't go for young kids. Medium, like middle school, high school, yeah, they can watch it. The architecture show, anyone can watch that. There's nothing wrong with that. This next show probably won't give it to young kids, even though it's a cartoon anime, but it's an anime, so it's up to the parents for that one. It's not super realistic, but it tends to be pretty gory. One Punch Man. This is an anime that is both a comedy and a spoof on all superhero animes.
Right.
The entire point of this anime is like this one guy is so strong, but he does like nothing to get. He just has this power. And every bad guy he encounters, he's like dissatisfied because he just wants to fight someone who's of equal caliber to him. And he's consistently just it's a very, very funny show. And it plays off of all the cliches and the tropes that you see in all the other superhero animes of like, oh, I gotta fight for the people and this and that, and you see them all over exaggerated in this show. I love this show. It's still going on as a whole thing because animes tend to get pretty long. This one I think is only 4 seasons as of right now, but it is very fun and enjoyable. And it was my first anime, I'm pretty sure, outside of like a couple ones that I don't count, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. This was my first, like, I want to get into anime. What do I watch? This was my first one. So I think it is definitely should be some of your guys' firsts. Very funny. Yeah. Enjoy it. I still reference it and I still watch it now because it's just too funny. There's just scenes in it that are so good. That one, again, not great for kids because there are things like blood and things that if you're sort of sensitive to that, you don't really want to show your kids. If you don't care and it's a cartoon, then sure.
Where is it on?
Netflix has, I think, like the first season. But if you want to watch for going forward, for anyone who wants to watch anime, if you're new to the scene, you want to go on Crunchyroll or Verve, VRV, or Funimation. Those are 3 separate websites or apps that you can use because most streaming platforms, unless the animation is exclusive to that platform, like there's a couple anime on, like Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is another anime that I watch that I do like and I do recommend, but it's I believe it's a Netflix specific, the newer version. So yeah, if you want to really watch anime, Funimation, Crunchyroll, or Verve. Those are your go-to places.
What is Crunchyroll? Because now you just made me hungry for sushi.
Crunchyroll is a website or an app. It's like Netflix. It's a streaming platform specifically for anime. It only holds anime. And what tends to happen is anime that's not exclusive to Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever tends to hit those platforms, Crunchyroll, Verve, and Funimation first. And then 6 months later to a year later to 2 years later, they then hit Netflix or then they hit Hulu. So if you want to keep up with something, Crunchyroll, Verve, Funimation, those are the places to go for anime. If you've watched more than 2 anime TV shows, you've probably already gotten to that point where you know of these places. If you don't, now you do. These next 2 TV shows are more of a nostalgic button for me, and they're for like 10-year-olds, but they're just so calming and enjoyable. And I haven't watched them recently, but I would. First one is Bear in the Big Blue House. I can't. I'm like, it's just that's out of all the TV shows I watched as a kid, that's, if you were to ask me to pick one, it'd be this one. Love it. I love the mixture of the sort of miniatures that they use, the puppetry, and the music. It's calming. It's Oh yeah, Bear in the Big Blue House. Wonderfully calming. I love it. It was on for 9 years, so you know it did something right. Um,
Where is
that's
it?
obviously
Oh,
for kids.
where is it on?
Oh hell if I know. We can check.
Oh, you
Let's see.
people could find it.
Bear in the
I'm
Big Blue
sure people.
House.
I'm sure people are
Oh
going to be running to see it.
yeah, people are gonna be where to watch Bear in the Big Blue House. Oh, it's a Disney Channel. Will begin streaming
Oh,
on Disney Plus in Canada. Sad.
oh
Okay.
no!
Um,
We take a ride to Canada. What's the big deal?
no, oh, you can watch it. So it'll be streaming. It'll start on June 23rd, streaming on Disney Plus in Canada.
Okay.
Oh, Disney has announced all episodes of FX's The Bear in the Big Blue House. Yeah, on June 23rd of this year on Disney Plus will be only in Canada. If you want to watch it in the US, it's on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch it there. The next one
Okay.
after that is Jimmy Neutron. That was my
Oh,
favorite. That was my favorite. Bear in the Big Blue House was like toddler to like young age, and then like late elementary into middle school. Jimmy Neutron, man, that was a fun cartoon. It was good. The animation was weird. This weird, almost like claymation thing. It was just fun. I loved it. I had video games and toys from Jimmy Neutron. Obviously
okay.
for kids. Obviously for kids. Um, so, all right, now let's go back to some of the more adult ones. This one I was actually just watching with Catherine last night. This
Wait,
TV
one
show,
second. 1 second. You just mentioned Jimmy Neutron.
yeah,
What happened to Buzz Lightyear?
I never watched the cartoon Buzz Lightyear.
There's a movie coming out with Chris
Oh yeah,
Evans.
Chris Evans, the new Buzz Lightyear movie. I'd watch it. I'd watch it. I don't. I've passed the point. I graduated out of Toy Story stuff after the last Toy Story because I got the closure I needed. Um,
Okay.
but
Okay.
those Toy Stories are top tier. Like if you had to ask me some of my favorite Disney movies, the Toy Story series is definitely on that upper end of like the top five, easily,
Okay.
because it's Toy Story. That's what I grew up with. I loved Buzz. I loved Woody. I loved growing up with them. We've spoken about that in a couple podcasts that we've done, how
Mhm.
Disney beautifully did, you know, I was either a year or two around, I was a year around Andy. And so when he was whatever age in Toy Story 1, so was I. And then when he was going off to college, I was a year into college. So it beautifully
Mhm.
lined up and made it such a good set of movies to follow. Uh, truly, truly, I didn't expect to get like sad and emotional over the fifth one. And I'm like, why am I upset at this? It's good.
Mhm.
It's good. Toy Story series is good.
Okay.
Um, this show that I'm about to say is easily for kids. I think if anything, you should show your kids this show. Catherine and I were just watching it last night. Down to Earth with Zac Efron. Love, 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 love this show.
Great show.
Would rate this as one of my top five TV shows in my current time right now. I
Say
love
that
it.
again.
I would rate it as one of my top five TV
Oh,
shows
okay.
in this current time period. As of right
Yeah,
now, if you
great
had to
show.
ask me, like today, what are my top five? This would be in one of my top five
Great
because
show.
I love how educational it is, but also how beautiful it is. So, and how
Mhm.
fun it is. You know, it's not just information with Zac. He's going on adventures, we're learning stuff, but he's also
Mhm.
having fun and he's also showing us fun things to do. Um,
Mhm.
and I love learning that, like, you know, Iceland powers most of its cities based off of volcanic heat and steam power, and they by taking the by taking the steam from underground, a mile underground, and using it on a turbine to create energy, the excess that comes out, the CO2 and the sulfide, they repump back into the ground, and that crystallizes into rocks and pyrite, which can then, if they don't do this, but they could harvest that pyrite and other crystals to make things out of. So
Yeah.
they're creating more earth and more rock with the excess, with the stuff that is arguably considered bad for the planet, like CO2 and sulfide. They're re-injecting it into the earth, and it's creating rock instead of affecting our atmosphere. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
When he visits these different places, he also introduces you to the cuisine of these different places.
Yes, we also that's also an interesting thing as well. It's not just like, hey, here's what France is doing with water and energy. It's no, we're going to show you what they're doing, but we're also going to show you some of their native food and how it differs from America and how it differs from that. And I think it's a really, really big eye opener and culture shock for at least me. It was someone who lives in the American bubble. Seeing some of the stuff from these other countries, I said, oh, I never knew that they were this advanced or this like progressing to this degree, because America would never cover that information because America thinks they're the greatest. So
Yeah,
they would never,
absolutely.
and they'll never partake in some of that stuff because big oil and because fossil fuels. Some of the stuff is like the volcanic stuff. We don't have a ton of volcanoes, but even if we did, they wouldn't participate in that crap because it's free
Yeah.
energy.
You remember that the episode? He travels with a friend who's brilliant. But you remember the episode of the self-sustaining school in the jungle?
Oh, that was one of the last episodes. I don't remember much about that one.
Yeah,
Don't
that
give too
was
much away because
fantastic.
I don't want to talk too much about it because
Okay.
I want people to watch it. I think
Okay.
it's a wonderful, wonderful TV show, and I think it's done right. It's not done for the sake of story or for
hmm
like for Hollywood. It's done right,
hmm
and you feel good while watching it. You don't feel like you're just
hmm
being entertained. You feel like you're genuinely watching something that's good. Also, the guy you were
hmm
talking about, his name's Darren Olian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
know,
really,
Zach,
really, really.
Zach Efron uh, has, because he talks about it, a extremely close relationship with his grandfather, such like you and I do have.
Oh yeah, he does. I forgot about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched the TV show when it came out, and I'm just starting to rewatch it now. So I only saw the first episode for this next time with Catherine when we watched it last night. So I got to
Good
get to that
choice.
episode. I forgot about that.
Good.
That's the one where he goes to Italy and
Yeah.
he finds the older guy. That's right.
Yeah. The
Um,
town, the town where I think it's the oldest people in the world.
yes, the town where all
Yeah.
the oldest people in the world regularly live. They were all like 107, and the oldest
Yeah.
person was like 140 or something like that. Something stupid.
Well, no. Yeah. But
Whatever.
yeah,
It's
it
like
gives you.
100. I think it was 122 was the actual number. I was exaggerating when I said 140. I think it was the oldest person was like 122 or 124 or something. Um, but yeah, for whatever reason, there's just an excessive amount of like super old people in this in this town,
Yeah.
and they describe it based off of the food and what they eat and the culture. But yeah,
hmm
so all right, I'll keep going. I've only got a couple more. Wanted, James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie. Wanted. Wouldn't say this is one of my top favorite whatever films. I just think it's a good film. I
Yeah.
don't plot wise, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it to really dissect the plot. I just the movie is not bad. I've seen it. It hits me in a visceral way that I can't describe fully. And it's it's one of those films that like someone could put on and I'd watch. I'd agree to watch almost every time. It's a solid
Yeah, it
film.
is. It is.
And I don't think it ever got crazy numbers or acclaims or anything. I think it was just one of those ones that flew under the radar, at least in my opinion. It's also got Morgan Freeman in it. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that.
Can't
Angelina
forget
Jolie, James
Morgan.
McAvoy, and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And Chris Pratt is in it, I'm fairly certain. I think he plays the bully to James McAvoy. James McAvoy starts out as working in a cubicle. And Terrence Stamp is in it too.
Yeah.
Common. Oh, there's a bunch of people in this. Holy hell, I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is in this. Oh my God. I forgot about that. He plays James McAvoy plays a normal guy who works in a cubicle, and Chris Pratt is like his bully in the office or whatever. So
he's a fat Chris Pratt.
Yeah, before he lost all that weight.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple more. Demon Slayer, another anime. Oh, Wanted, not for kids. Not for kids at all. At all. There's one specific scene that I'm thinking about, and it's I'm gonna try and describe it without describing it, where he's got the pistol, and it's, you know what I'm talking about, and for those who are watching, you'll see me referencing, and he's, you know what I mean, you know, where he, yeah, okay. That scene, when I first saw it, I was in shock, but I was cackling because I was dumbfounded that this was actually a moment in a film. So yeah, for those who want to see it, you'll understand what I mean when you watch it. Next, Demon Slayer, not a show for kids. It's an animation again, but it's a lot of blood and a lot of gore. In my opinion, Demon Slayer is one of the best animations currently, as of right now. It's one of the best animes out there as of right now. They came out with a movie recently, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I cried. I was like losing my crap over it. It's great. I love this anime. It is so good, and I am chomping at the bit for the next season. They've already announced the next season, and season 2 just ended like 2 months ago.
And where is it being streamed?
Currently, I think season 1 is on Netflix, and then I watched the season 2 and then the movie on, I think I watched it on Verve, which is a subsidiary of Crunchyroll. So season 2 is only a half season because the second half is technically the movie. So each season's like 24 episodes or something. But part of the reason why I like anime so much is because the episodes are brief. They're 20-minute episodes, but you get so much out of it versus what you tend to see in like cable TV, where there's 20-minute episodes. They don't really get a lot in, and there's a lot of sort of excess that's kind of boring. I think I'll do this as my last. No, I'll do 2 more. There's 2 more. And I'll keep them brief. Dune. People are going to love or hate that response. I absolutely love Dune. I think plot-wise, it needs part 2 because I haven't read Dune, and part 1 is quite empty of a lot of stuff because it's setting up for part 2. But I think the film overall is a masterpiece in building a world and building an atmosphere. What is shown on screen, physically, CGI, just set design, costume, lighting, everything, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And I frankly couldn't care how many stars are in it. It didn't take me out of the film. Sometimes, like Avengers Endgame, right? I got taken out of the film a couple times because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, there's Chris Evans, there's Chris Hemsworth, there's Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, Brie Larson. It's like, we're just getting all the stars. I didn't care. I genuinely didn't care. I was just simply at awe of everything in this film. Sonically, visually, everything about it, stunning and beautiful. And it's one of the first films in probably a decade that I've seen that's really made me like want to be in the like look at the film and go, wow, I feel like I'm immersed. I really do feel like I'm in this film. It takes a lot for that, for me at least. Highly recommend. That film probably shouldn't show your kids. Now that I'm thinking of the fight scenes that go on later, and yeah, not for kids. Last one, and I will die on this hill. Avatar. Avatar, Blue People. Oh, that's actually another thing. Avatar, Last Airbender, the TV show, one of the greatest TV shows ever. For kids, easy. It's a beautifully crafted
Yeah,
TV show.
I watched part of that.
It's a Nickelodeon TV show, beautifully crafted. It's so good that it's like half a decade later, more than a decade later, and people still talk about it and reference it and make content about it. 100% a very, very good TV show. Avatar: The
Mhm.
Blue People, one of my favorite films of all time. That's in my top 6 favorite films of all time. Um,
Is that a film or is that an anime?
Avatar: The Blue People one is a movie. It's James Cameron, or
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, people know what that is. They're coming out with a new Avatar.
exactly why I wanted to discuss it.
Yeah.
Um, Zoe Saldana is in it. Sigourney Weaver, Sam Worthington, Stephen Lang. So many people. Oh my God, Giovanni. Yeah,
You know, a
I
lot of
can't
money
pronounce
being
his last
spent on
name.
it.
James Cameron. James Cameron, written
Yeah.
directed by James Cameron. Love it. The plot for Avatar 1, it's very simple. It's just it's the concept of like Native Americans getting their land taken over, and um
Yeah, exactly.
them fighting back. And I would argue, the whole white savior thing, the white man becomes part of the clan and then leads the fight and wins. Yeah, not it, we're getting sort of into a Last of the Mohicans type film, and I'm not like
Hmm.
super happy about that. Um, because it shouldn't necessarily be like that. If he's a part of the film, great, but the fact that it's sort of that Last of the Mohicans, like he's real Native American because he's white and Native. I don't know about that. The movie, though, in terms of immersion, really is beautiful visually. Again, I would put it in similar vein to Dune. That's why I paired them together. Plot for Dune 1 is there's almost nothing there. You're learning a lot of stuff, but there's not a ton to be a part of yet. Avatar 1, plot's just whatever.
Hmm.
But the CGI, the visuals, the sound, the atmosphere that is created while watching it, stunning. I love it. I absolutely fucking love it. Um, and I can't wait for Avatar: Way of the Water.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I don't care. I don't care. Some people are bored, and I get it. It's been 10 years. I'm excited as hell for it. That's the one movie I'm gonna really like go out and see.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's my list for now. Avatar, not for kids. It's got fighting and gore and blood. Not a ton of blood, but enough where it might traumatize some kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my list. A lot of mine is either younger stuff or just a lot of action stuff. Yours is very yours is a lot of like detective work and cops, and um if it's supernatural, it's not crazy. A lot of mine are like One Punch Man, Demon Slayer, Avatar, Dune.
Yeah. Well, like I said to you, I didn't put my favorite all time on here.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
no.
so,
These are just like
yeah,
some of the ones that we would recommend and some of the ones that we would highly rate. Yeah, if we were gonna
yeah,
do like favorite of all time, I'd need to like sit down and really make a list.
yeah,
And I would also argue the list I make now is gonna be not the list that I make next year. Whatever is my favorite right now is because it's my favorite right now. But
yeah. If we were making a list, which we'll probably do in the future, of my favorite actors of all time,
oh,
then
that
that would
we
span
can do
many
that. Yeah.
decades. Yeah.
We
I
can
mean,
yeah, that's a good point. We could do it by the decade.
I left out one movie that you can catch streaming with Steve McQueen and Edward G. Robinson called The Cincinnati Kid, which is an excellent movie. I think it took place in the 50s. But you know what? There's so many great movies made. Uh, But you know what I enjoyed most of all? Putting all what we just discussed aside. You and I go to a movie that's a horror movie, and I don't like watching horror movies anymore in the house late at night because I'm by myself here. Not that I know it's real, but when
Yeah.
you and I go to see a horror movie or watch it together, I think it's a 90% chance we're going to either go ooh or laugh our ass off
Yeah.
because we find things so funny. I mean, we've been in we've been in a theater together laughing while everybody is going woo woo,
It,
you know.
I know. Well, and that's because I'm a horror fanatic. I love horror movies, and the scariest ones tend to be the dumbest ones. I Nothing will beat when I almost got my ass beat watching The Nun. They came out, and then the next day I went with like five of my friends, and I was cackling
Yeah.
in the movie with my friends, and I was like, "Watch, this is gonna happen." And then 2 seconds later, it happens, and I started cackling because I was like, this is so dumb. And then a person in front of me turned around and like shushed me angrily. And
Mhm.
later on in the movie, I started laughing again. They got mad. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Okay.
Horror
Yeah.
movies are just so funny to me because they tend to be so dumb. Occasionally there's a good one. Like once in a while, there's like that one good one that I'm like, oh wow, I'm scared. But most of the
Mhm.
time, I can't help it. It's just so funny. And then when I watch them with you, we point it out together. We're like, that was dumb. And then we laugh.
Yeah.
And then the laughing causes us to laugh more because we're watching, because the atmosphere of the scary movie is sort of broken down, and we're no
Mhm.
longer like even close to being scared. So the scary
Mhm.
moment is now just completely funny.
Yeah. You know, different people react differently. I mean, some of us have built-in fears. I mean, we couldn't take your mother to watch it one or two because she doesn't like
Oh yeah.
clowns.
Oh
You
well,
know.
my girlfriend's still scarred. I brought her to it, and I never told her what it was about. I just said we're gonna go see a movie, and then we went to see it one, and she still talks about it 3 years later.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Uh, Uh, there's thousands of movies that are made. I'm glad we're back to where they're starting to make movies again. Maverick just came out. I don't know how good it is, but I'm glad it was made. Uh, uh, there's a lot of movies going to hit in the next month that are big budget movies. I hope they're successful because I'm getting tired of everything just streaming. You know, it'd be nice to get to a movie theater again. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's not what's better, but not for me. But what's better than going with a friend or your girlfriend to a movie theater and then making a whole day of it, having lunch, walking around the mall. You know, nothing better than that.
I can actually disagree. I'll tell you what is better: a drive-in movie.
Oh well, that's true, but there are very few of them.
I know, but I
Yeah,
she's taken me to a couple of them, and I
yeah.
love them. They're so
Oh
fun.
yeah.
You spend
Well,
a
you know what
day,
they?
walk around town or whatever. You walk around the town and get some food, and then you pull up
Yeah,
to the drive-in, and it's on this big screen, and you use your car radio, and you sit
I
in the
know.
trunk with some blankets, and it's extraordinary.
Well, you don't sit in the trunk. You sit in the car, not in
No,
the trunk.
the one that we went to, you sit in the trunk because you get a better view because
Oh, okay.
it's staggered, right? Like a
Hmm.
set of bleachers, and so you park and you pop the trunk open, and you just turn the radio on a little loud, and then it blasts out of your car, and you watch it through the trunk.
You know what they used to call in my day when you went to a drive-in movie? Uh, we used to go like put the speaker on the window
Yeah.
and be in the car. But you know what we used to say? People that constantly go to drive-in movies, we call them parents. You don't get
Why?
that, do you? You don't get it, do you?
No, I
They,
don't.
drive-in movies would be like rolling motels.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I get it. I get it. A little slow there. I get it.
yeah. you know. But we used to pack sometimes we used to pack people in the trunk when you said that. You know, sometimes we didn't want to pay for
Right.
everybody to go to a drive-in movie. So we used to pay there was a terminal. We used to pay for two people or four people, and there'd be another couple in the trunk for
Right.
a couple of
Right.
minutes. Or if it was guys, you know, we went to see like fights. They showed the Floyd Patterson fight in the movie theater. They showed different championship fights, you know, and we didn't want to pay at the time $20 a ticket, so we'd go show two of us in the front seat and two of us in the back seat and two of us in the trunk. So
Right.
then they got wise and they used to make us open the trunks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I hope that we were informative with our selections today.
I hope that everyone enjoys. And if you have any selections of your own, or you want to argue that you hated one of our selections, you can go on YouTube and comment. Or I think you can comment on Spotify too, if you're listening on Spotify. But I don't know. Or you can just answer the questions that we have or the polls. But yeah, I hope if you were listening, you made it through all the way through. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or evening. And make sure to share, follow, subscribe, do all that crap, and then send it to people. If you know someone who hates Dune, send it to them. I want to cause trauma in their life.
Okay, and if any of our friends in the Ukraine still have a TV that watches us or a computer, may God be with you.
Peace out.
Peace out. Love you.